Week 7 of the college football season, my friends, and things are getting interesting. Good morning, Greater Latrobe. I'm Jim, and this is Tim, and welcome to Jim and Tim in the Morning. We got all things covered college football as we hit the halfway point of the season. Tim, what are some things that have surprised you so far?
I mean, not too big of a surprise, but Ohio State, they're 6-0, won 19 straight regular season games.
It's impressive.
They're not winning the way people expect them to, but they're getting the job done. I mean, every week they play, they're supposed to be a blowout, but they're winning, and
Games have been close. That
yeah.
Indiana game came down to the final play, Tim. I got one for you. How about the Florida Gators? 6-0, started the season, ended up 5-7 last year, made a head coaching switch, beat Ole Miss, previously number 3, beat Alabama previously. Yeah. Jim McElwain coming to Florida and has done a terrific job with his Gator team. I mean, he's been the first coach since Galen Hall in 1984 to start 6-0 for the Gators. The only problem is, though, just got suspended. Quarterback Will Grier suspended for the whole year with PED usage. I mean, sophomore Treon Harris is going to have to come in and do the job for the Gators. First game's not easy either against the LSU Tigers. I mean, we'll see what's going to happen. I still have confidence in him, though.
It's pretty special when you got that guy going 6-0, and Urban Meyer's been there for how long?
Yeah, I know.
But I got Texas, though, is a big surprise. I mean, they've been like the team in college football forever, and they just suck.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Like, they can't beat. They got killed by Notre Dame. They lost to Cal. They lost to Oklahoma State. They got killed by TCU. I mean, that never happens.
Yeah.
They can't win. I mean, Charlie Strong, new hire. I mean, you got to give him some time, but he's got to, I mean, big win against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It might have saved his job.
Yeah, hopefully get the season around going for something.
They were going for his head down there. I mean, he got to get it going.
Another surprise team, too, the Michigan Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh's come in for Brady Hoke and has done a fantastic job. Although they lost that one game against Utah, Utah's a top 5 team in the country now, and they only lost by 7. I mean, first FBS team in 20 years to pitch 3 straight shutouts, beating BYU, Maryland, and Northwestern by a combined score of 97-0. Michigan's coming in hot and see what they can do the rest of the Big Ten schedule. Not an easy matchup this week, though, against Michigan State. I mean, that's a big-time game this week.
We'll see what they can do. Is that game in Ann Arbor, right?
I think that game's in Ann Arbor.
That's where game day's at.
Yeah.
So
see how it's going.
Yeah.
So how about that Heisman this year?
I like Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, he's putting up the number 835 yards, 10 touchdowns. I mean, he won them. I think he pretty much won the Virginia Tech and the Indiana game. If it wasn't on that field, they might have 2 losses right now. I mean, I know they pulled away from Virginia Tech in the second half, but I mean, that first half, that long run he had, and then Indiana scoring both touchdowns, both long runs. I mean, if they don't, he's the key factor on that team. He opens up everything. I feel like they have him, they can go as far as they want.
As far as Zeke takes them. I know you're all high up on Zeke Elliott, Tim, but Leonard Fournette, running back from LSU, putting up monster numbers for the Tigers. 1,022 yards through 5 games, 12 touchdowns, and 8.6 yards per carry, Tim. First player in SEC history to rush for 200 yards in 3 consecutive games. You know who else came from the SEC, Tim?
Who's that?
Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker, living legends in the SEC.
That's big. That's big shoes to fill down
there.
Yeah,
I know it is. Tied the FBS record for fastest to 1,000 yards in the season compared to the likes of Marcus Allen, Barry Sanders, and Ricky Williams. I'd say they all had pretty good NFL careers.
Yeah.
I mean, they got tough SEC defenses ahead, though, so we'll see
how he does against Alabama.
Yeah, you got Alabama, you got Florida this week. They're a tough defense.
Yeah.
All right, so going through the Heisman, going through surprises. How about the predictions, Tim?
So far, I mean, I can't take Ohio State out until they lose, so I'm going to have them number 1. Baylor's they kill people offensively. No one can stop them, so they're 2. Even though Alabama lost to Ole Miss, I'm still putting them in there because I have trust in Nick Saban and what they've done in the past. They have a good team, putting them 3. And Clemson, I'll throw them in there at 4. I don't trust them, but the ACC's weak.
It is very weak,
and
but we'll
I feel like
happens.
they're not out. I looked at their schedule. I don't see too many games. Except Florida State. If they get past Florida State, I don't think they're going to lose. And then I took Ohio State beating Alabama, Ohio State beating Clemson, and Alabama beating Baylor. And I feel like Alabama's I think they get hot at the end of the year. And I don't like Ohio State right now, how they're playing. And I think the SEC is going to prepare them, and Alabama's going to win.
Just to let you know, Tim, I got Michigan State number 1 seed in the playoffs right now.
Michigan State?
Listen, Michigan State's going to walk into Columbus, take them down. That's 1 loss. But you know who else I got Ohio State losing to, Tim?
Who?
The Penn State Nittany Lions this week. Like that pick, Tim?
I didn't agree with you too much last week, but that's a good pick. I like that.
Today. Christian Hackenberg's going to walk into the horseshoe and throw all over the Buckeyes defense this week, Tim.
I hope.
Also, I got Michigan State playing the Utah Utes. Great defensive team in the Pac-12. Shut down the likes of Jared Goff in California. They're compared that Goff kid to Peyton Manning, Tim. And they shut him down last week. In the next game, I got the Baylor Bears. I mean, you got Seth Russell, quarterback, throwing up monster numbers for the Bears this year, along with Corey Coleman and Shock Linwood. I mean, they're scary offensively, Tim. I don't see anyone taking them down.
Yeah, I have them in there too.
And then I do got them Florida Gators in there, Tim, SEC school. Florida Gators, Tim.
Florida. They're in the SEC. They still got to go through, who they got, LSU, Alabama.
Georgia might be a trap game.
You checked your phone lately? They lost their quarterback.
Yeah, well, I don't know, Tim. I like this sophomore quarterback coming in to fill their shoes for him.
We'll see.
All right, and then we got Michigan State and Florida in the national championship. I mean, that game's going to be close. You got powers and defenses on both sides with Shalik Calhoun for Michigan State and Vernon Hargreaves for Florida in that tough defensive line. I just think the SEC reigns supreme and the Florida Gators win the national championship this year, Tim.
We'll see if you say that at the end of the year. I don't know.
Tim. It's early yet. We'll see what happens. A lot can happen. From Jim and Tim in the morning, I'm Jim.
And I'm Tim.
Thanks for watching Greater Latrobe. Have a great day.